What's going on, everybody? I just wanted to hop on here really quickly and just answer some questions. Something with, just where I'm just sitting here talking to you guys. You always see me with my instrument, but now I want to be able to have an opportunity to sit and talk with you, and just being you. Like you get a chance to see me and know me without having my instrument in my hand. That's been very much a part of who I am, but I want to be able to like answer your questions and not always play. So if you have any kind of questions, be kind of cool to hop on here and just ask me anything that you want. I definitely want to try to answer everyone's questions and just talk about like, guitar, talk about the industry, talk about things that like, you guys may have questions with. I know how it is sometimes. Okay, first thing, do you have any advice for busking? I don't have any advice, but I'm saying if you're gonna go out there, this is my only opinion. If you had to go out to busk, like play your butt off, like, and play so that people know, like any top 40s kind of stuff or whatever, like make it your own. You never know who can hear you, who can see you. The power of social media is like second to none. So you never know who's gonna be out there, who's gonna be watching, who's gonna videotape you, who could go viral. So like perform like you're performing in front of thousands, like millions. Like, this is your stage, this is what you do. But yeah, I just want to take this opportunity. Like, I don't ever get a chance to really like to talk and chill with you guys without having like my instrument. So, all right, here's another thing. Do you ever get nervous like on a big stage and hit a few wrong notes? I've gotten nervous on big stages before, and yes, I've hit wrong notes plenty of times. The thing is how you recover. Don't let it like set the parameters of like, oh man, I messed up, and then you stay in that moment. Listen, we all make mistakes. All professionals make mistakes, and nobody gets it right out every single time. But it's about how you recover and how you bounce back for the next set of series that you need to do on scores on the show. Fender Princeton reverb or deluxe reverb. They essentially both do the same job. It's just preference. Like, I don't have a preference with either. I've done Princeton for like certain setups, and I've done the deluxe reverb for live setups. So it all depends. I'm one of these guys that's like a tone junkie, so I'm gonna tweak my tone anyway. So if the amp can do what I need it to do, like make the sound and make it sound as crisp as I want, then that's all that matters. Okay. Do you play some other types of music like rock? Yeah, there are times that I play rock. I've subbed for Eric Walls. Eric Walls has a black rock band called Blackwater. It's nothing but straight rock. I love playing, subbing for him when I get a chance to. It's awesome. Rock, that sound is just so it's just overpowering. Like I love to just get in there and just rip out chords and distortion. Like I love it. You know what I mean? R&B is my thing, but like playing rock is really cool too. How long have I been playing? I've been playing for over 20 years, like maybe 20, 25 years. Let me try to keep all of these in order as much as possible. Wow, it's amazing to have you do this. Da, 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 da. I'm feeling a bit depressed because I've been wondering, how do I improvise music? All right, so if you want to improve your tone, there are things that you want to do. I would go back and like look at everything. Look at your amp, like look at the tonality of your amp. I would put everything to 0 and just start like slowly but surely like implementing like maybe adding a little bit more treble, a little bit more bass, a little bit more mids until you find that sweet spot. Each amp is different. So, and then what I do, I take pictures of the settings. So let's say if I'm using like a Fender Twin or a DeVille or a Mesa Boogie, I'm taking pictures of those amps so I know like whenever I get those amps again, I know at least I have a good like starting point. So that's what I want to try to do. And then you have to be careful when a lot of tone is in your hands. So be careful when you're playing not to like have too much vibrato in your strings. That's something that I'm going to start teaching, maybe a course about just the simplicity of like just staying on one note and working on your vibrato, because sometimes you can bend the strings too much and that will mess up your tone. So being careful about that, not having too much vibrato on your tone. Other questions? Oh man, thanks. You're my favorite guitarist. Can you trace R&B chords on your own? I'm sure you can do anything on your own if you put your mind to it. It's just all about like what you're willing to do. So I feel like you could do all of that stuff. Okay, how long you been playing? I answered that question. Can you talk a little bit about your practice regimen? So my practice regimen varies. It just depends on if I've got to prepare for a show, then I'm practicing for that show. I'm running the show as much as possible. I'm running the intros, I'm running the transitions. I'm trying to make sure that I know it, not that I'm assuming where certain things go. I want to know like that, so I want to know the show. I want to feel super comfortable. If I'm not practicing for a show, my own practice routine, then there may be a moment of I consider it like silly time where I'm just doing whatever. It may be like me working on a lick or me just working on a chord progression. I don't want to feel myself locked in on a specific regimen, and that's what I do every single day. Every day, the practice routine modifies. So you have to find what are your strengths and your weaknesses. So if I know my strengths are right now like me doing a whole bunch of chords, but my weaknesses are maybe doing licks, then I'm going to practice, put a little bit more attention to detail on that because I want that to be as strong as my chords are. So it just depends on what you have to find within your own practice time. Do you like Al Green, the artist? Yeah, I think Al Green's music is phenomenal. He's got some staple pieces. If I played in wedding bands, and a lot of his songs are staples. So yeah, I love Al Green's music. What do you do when you feel like you're plateauing? I listen to different types of music. I listen to different genres. So what I might do, I might go on Spotify and just type in pop 2020 and just listen and then just see what inspires me, because you never know. Music is just one of those things, something will happen and you hear something and be like, oh snap, and go run and grab your guitar and feel like you're inspired to go do whatever. So I just find myself a lot of times just listening to different things. It happens all the time. It happens for everybody. People plateau, you hit a wall, you hit a rut, you're just like, oh man, music doesn't sound the same, doesn't feel the same. Force yourself to listen to stuff that you probably would never listen to. I may listen to singer-songwriter music. So Spotify is really good for that. Or even going on YouTube and just putting in a gospel or whatever and just listen to all the way down until you find something that inspires you to grab your instrument. That's what I do. All right, Just saying hello. What's up, world? What's up, world? What guitar wouldn't you play for a neo soul sound? I probably wouldn't play an Ibanez, a guitar that was maybe meant for rock. I wouldn't do that. Just so I wouldn't feel comfortable being able to kind of play a guitar that's really high, twangy, you know what I mean? I wouldn't do something like that. I would play a Joe song or some other song. What's this? Do you really need a boutique pedal to have good tone? No, you really don't. I talked about this a lot of times with a lot of my students that are in my community, Kerry's camp, and I talk to a lot of different guitarists. You don't have to go out and buy the most expensive boutique pedal in order for your stuff to sound good. I've been a guy that's had a Boss ME25, ME50. I have an ME80 now. I have a Helix. I have a stomp box, a huge pedal board. It's all about how you take the attention to detail with your equipment. I purposely used to back in the day only play my Boss ME50. That's all I could afford. So I won't say purposely, but that's all that I had. But I played it, and I made sure when people would see my stuff, that some people would laugh and be like, man, that's all you got on stage? And then I hear me on stage and be like, oh my God. It's about taking the time and attention to detail and using what you have and make it work. Don't get in this game trying to buy a whole bunch of stuff because you're trying to impress your homies and you don't even know how to use it, or you don't even use it. I was one of those guys that bought a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of pedals, a whole bunch of guitars, trying to impress the homies. And number one, that was a waste of money, and I wound up selling it. So find stuff that makes sense financially, that makes sense for you playing wise, and that way you'll be successful. So many great questions. The best way to practice a number system is making note cards. I will essentially go down in each key, write down each root, write down all the numbers, and then practice with note cards. And then when practice and applying it to playing, so let's say if I'm in the key of C, I will pull out those note cards. So I would know the one is going to be what? C, right? then the 2 would be the D, and so on and so on. I would use those note cards to make sure I would reference it. So using note cards and applying it at the same time, and then forcing yourself to try to remember where that stuff is. Like that's gonna help stimulate your brain, stimulate your mind, so that way you can play and remember all that stuff all of the time. Chino Hills, what's up, what's up, what's up? Let me go back and try to answer some of these, more of these questions. I can't even answer that. Why your guitar might slightly sound out of tune. That's like engineer question. That's above my pay grade. I really don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It could be. I mean, it's a pitch thing, maybe with the engineering, whoever's engineering that session. Let me see what other questions. Thank you for doing this. Oh man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Do you send loops? Yes, you have to inbox me and then we could talk, pricing. Nothing that I do is for the freezy, just so you know. But yeah, I definitely do loops. That's how I get a lot of my placements. Since when are you gonna work with Grace Weber again? Really soon. Grace and I have some stuff that's coming up really soon. So, and we're working on her album. So we're gonna be doing some stuff on her album too. So that's gonna be coming up pretty soon. Are you self-taught? And you had a teacher, what are the best ways? So there is I do have some I was self-taught in some particular aspects, and then I went to school. I took lessons for like 3 years. But a lot of stuff is like sitting with the homies, working it, learning it, really understanding the nuances of it, and then sharing it. So yeah, everything that I have, I'm gonna give you everything that I have. Like, I want you guys to be able to play with the freedom that I've had for years, you know what I'm saying? I'm a big fan, bro. Said I've been hip to your since. Oh man, thanks for the Dream Junkies. Yeah, great friends of mine. It was a joy and a pleasure to play on their songs. Says, how do you come up with your own riffs? So coming up with your own riffs is like when you're playing basketball, you're playing sports, you're like developing your own ideas. So what I do a lot of times, I know that in music, there's only a small window in order to fit a riff or to do whatever. So I'll try to figure out within a chord, what notes can I pull out of that chord to make my own kind of sound? And then it's like singing. So like I hear melodies all the time and I want to have my own voice. So it's just like coming up with your own melodies, like creating your own lines. If the line is like da 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 da, I may be da 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 da. I may put a little inflection on it. I want to put my own stamp. And I keep running it and running it till I have it locked in. So it's not one of those situations where I don't know how to play it. I want to make sure I can play it effectively every single time so it conveys the same emotion that I feel. If I don't feel it, I'm not generally going to share it. I'm struggling in my practice and I've been looking for some exercises to help with that. If you're struggling in your practice, like that's got to be more specific. Like what are you struggling with? Are you struggling with chords? Are you struggling with scales? Are you struggling with the dexterity of your hands? There's so many different things that you can do in order to work on that. The thing is, you're going to have to work. And that's one of those things that it does not just, you can't just show up and just be like, I did a couple, 10 times and I'm good. You're going to have to run it and 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 run it until you cannot mess it up. That's the thing about a good practice session. Your hands are gonna hurt. You're not gonna feel like doing it, but run it until you cannot mess it up. If you can't mess it up, then you got it. You got it locked in.
Right.
Okay. What's the best kind of beginner, intermediate electric guitar for a neo? So I would say a Fender Strat. Like buy you like a good Mexican Strat, or you could buy you like a good PRS CE. You don't want to spend a lot of money, and then at the end of the day, you can always take the pickups out. The pickups is what really makes the guitar. The pickups in the wood. If you don't like the sound and the tonality of a guitar, but like the way it feels, change out the pickups. That stuff is going to help you. I know this is kind of like a little short session. I just wanted to hop on here really quickly and just talk to you guys. I'm going to start doing this more often. Maybe it'll be on Saturdays, or it might be like throughout the week. I'm just going to start doing this really often, where I'm just hopping on here and just kind of sharing some information with you guys. I want to start talking to you guys. You guys see me like doing these videos, lessons all the time, but you don't get a chance to like ask me questions in real time. And I want to start doing that more so that way I can get more of a connection with you guys, and you guys understand and get to see my personality outside of me just playing. I love being able to share with you musically on the guitar, but I want you to be able to get a chance to know like who I am as a person And I wanted to get you, just to walk in so you feel comfortable, like with me being a person that like you want to glean and you want to learn information from. I don't know everything. I'm not acting like I'm the guru or like I'm like the best person to do whatever. I'm not even like the best guitarist, but I will outwork the competition. So I will go hard for you guys in the paint. Like I said, I appreciate you guys for being on this journey. If you're looking to like try to go deeper and you want to do even greater stuff, I suggest going to kerryscamp.com. That's KerrysKamp.com. And that I do a deeper dive. Like I'm going to take you guys on a huge journey to really unlock the fretboard. That we have so many students that are already part of this community, but I just want to put that out there for those that are looking to try to gain more knowledge and want to grow in their craft and really be able to play at their full potential. Check that website out. There's so many that have already come and been a part of this community, and I get their feedback all the time. So, and if you're like on social media, the social medias are kind of your thing, follow me on Instagram, Kerry2Smooth, Kerry, the number 2, SMOOTH, just like my handle. And I would love to have you on for the ride. All right, I'm getting ready to head out. Got to eat some breakfast. I love you guys. All right, love, peace, and hair grease. Till next time.